They hid the truth in shadows, but every heart can find its light. We heard the silence and the quiet, feelings lost behind a veil of doubt. Step by step, our voices growing, breaking chains they tried to keep us bound. Every whispered lie can't hide the hope we hold. Every gentle truth will guide us through the cold. Like dawn across the darkest night, we lift our dreams into the sky. One heart, one voice will shine the light. Together rising, we will find the why. Steps of courage move the mountains. Softest words can break the mold. In each seed of truth we're planting, see the world transform before it's cold. We gather all our hopes and dreams, reach out in love and let it be. One taught across the darkest night, we lift our dreams into the sky. One heart, one voice will shine a light. Together rising, we will find our own. Hand in hand, standing through the light. Together rising, we will find the why.
Brian is innocent. Brian has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
Fair game for the public to hear. What do y'all think? You think that's fair? I'm bringing today what is going on with my life. Woo, I don't know what's going on with my life, but it's crazy. Okay, so I'm on a little early today. I had a schedule conflict, so I had to decide cancel my live or go on a little early. So you got me for the next hour, and I am ready to give it all to you. So you got my attention. If you want to participate in a question that I have today, specifically dealing with the Idaho4, drop a 1 in the chat. These are questions specifically to anyone who'd like to answer them. Okay, so yay. Yeah, I was on really early this early morning, and that was in regards to another case. If you haven't watched that, go back and watch it. It's very interesting and progressing. So welcome in every single one of you. Teresa, this is your question. Okay, you ready? In regards to the Idaho4 case, what evidence do you think got buried? What evidence do you think got buried? All right, that's your question, Teresa. I'll wait for your response. But I'm going to talk about today what's still hidden, lead holes, motives, and secret evidence in Idaho4. I hope you guys are ready for this one. Shield, you want a question? I'll give you a question. I love your picture, by the way. This one's for you, Shield. Do sealed documents mean corruption or caution? Do sealed documents mean corruption or caution? Teresa, hopefully I see your answer popping up in a minute in regards to what evidence do you think got buried. In my humble opinion, I think the evidence that got buried is Brian Kohberger's innocence. No DNA on the victim's crime scene, his car. Nobody really knows this. Why is mainstream media not sharing this? Hello? Teresa says, the unknown male blood on that damn sheath. I sure hope this sheath exists. I sure hope it does, because they found unknown male blood. Do you know for a fact in the court documents they found that sheath upside down? So that means button face down. Button face down. I saw that in the court documents. That's a secret. Phoenix, will you go back over that report about the mixture DNA on the sheath, because someone's saying it's a myth? It's not a myth. It's in the court documents. I'll tag this in when I upload this. I will tag that video in there. It is very clear as day. It's in the court records. Either way, it could go either way. The bigger crime behind it, caution. It feels like corruption to me. Okay, so that would be the question. Do sealed documents mean corruption or caution? I agree. If there's a bigger crime behind it, I totally agree. And Lisa says corruption, cover up, or there's actually nothing, or the real interviews. I agree. It's got to be a massive cover up or a massive nothing, like President Trump posted on Truth Social. So we know factually Brian Koberger is innocent. And I want to put this up there and preface this. I'm going to show you in the beginning and the ending. We rise through truth, not rumor. We burn for clarity, not chaos. And in the ashes of silence, we listen for what's still hidden. And what is still hidden in this case? Well, practically everything, because most of these documents that will give us the truth are still buried, still sealed, still hidden. We don't know. There's no weapon, no K-bar found when Kathy Maybud in the beginning said it was a butcher knife, and the mayor said it was a crime of passion and a possible robbery. Okay, there's shoe prints. Bethany's laptop. What was on her laptop? There are so many hidden elements still in this case. What's still hidden? We're going to dig into that in a minute. There's a lot of unanswered questions, missing pieces, and they might mean for truth and justice that we'll never get to see. Never. So if you don't know anything about the Idaho4 case, go back, start watching the videos, get caught up to speed as much as possible, and make sure that you are watching and listening to credible people that talk about the court documents, that talk about the release documents from Moscow Police Department, ISP, photos, crime scene pictures before the injunction was placed not to release any more photos, no matter what. And what secrets lie beneath the surface and who controls them? And I want you to drop, what's one thing you think investigators haven't told us yet? What one thing do you think investigators have not told us yet? What is Caleb saying? I just watched an edited version of Ashley Jennings and her Frank's hearing argument. Ashley was laughing at the U.S. and the country. Absolutely. Absolutely. They're not there to defend it. They're there to push the limits to our constitutional freedoms to the limit, to limit us more. AJ's a clown. Seriously, don't know what's true. Yeah, size 13, right? The cop accidentally, well, not accidentally, I think it was intentional, on video cam, stands right next to it and says, well, yeah, I think it's about a 13. I'm about a 12. Yeah, they're tactical boots. They look like a 12. Second weapon involved. I was about to say that one too. Great, great answer. No talkie before coffee. I love that name. I got to go back here for a minute. Critic Rick, you take the cake. You get my guitar playing solo. Are you ready? I've got my little tiny guitar here. And I should have set up my camera for this one. I got my little tiny ukulele guitar, and you get the guitar solo of the day. Of course, I can't play, but you get it. Okay. Oh, that's good. The sheath is next to the Lucky Charms leprechaun, and by the unicorn, it exists. Trust us. Oh, that is classic. Yes, Shield Maiden. They cleared the roommates, exes, and first suspects as one of the hundreds of untold items. Absolutely. Absolutely. Was there even a Glock found in the house? I didn't think there was. In the evidence, you have to look at the dates. The Glock was put into Brian Koberger's evidence. It wasn't from the house. It wasn't from the house. So that's a good one. So you have to look at the dates. You have to look at the evidence, and haven't stated if there was two separate incidents. This is what I'm talking about. Two separate unaliving incidents, which I've always believed in my timeline that there are two separate events that happen the night for two separate reasons. Two separate reasons. It was from his parents' house. Yes, it was from his parents' house, Amanda. Absolutely. Yes. He had two guns, a couple of knives. Yes. And it was a 22, actually. Yep. Yep. A Glock was found in a 22. And a 22, if you don't know, that's usually service issued. So when I say that, there are so many hidden secrets, holes in this case. But let me start here. I'm going to show you a to date, current. This was actually released today. Idaho4 killer Brian Koberger complained about IT issues in prison, wrote a thank you note to the guard. Is this true? Yeah. Let me tell you guys. It is true. It is factual. And let me just read a little bit of what they said. This was released today, October 7th. And it says, on Sunday, July 27th, 4 days after he sat stone-faced in a hearing in which victims' loved ones tearfully confronted him about his horrific crimes, which we know he's not guilty of, the convicted killer first told his reaction and told his documents obtained by TMZ. I need access to the JPay system to complete an order drafted on a full commissary menu, Koberger wrote on the form, complaining he got an error message. May I be temporarily moved into the system to do so? Thank you for your assistance, wrote the former criminology grad student, who revealed that he was housed in the IMSI institution medical care unit at the time. According to the prison's website, inmates could purchase a tablet for $100. Now, remember, he was moved and didn't get his needs met in regards to his technology. And that could be a little frustrating to anybody, right? Even, I mean, when you start a job and you're new on the job and they don't have IT, have your system set up, and you get a little frustrated because you're sitting around being paid to do something when you have no access to technology. Well, can you imagine being convicted of something you didn't do, housed in a little tiny facility, frustrated as hell, have autism, and your only outlet could be technology and talking to your parents, because obviously that's all he knows, and not having a tablet for communication? That would be freaking frustrating. So making fun or reporting on this I think it's just disgusting, okay, in my humble opinion. But reporting on this, they were transitioning to a new system, yada, yada, yada. And they told him it could take up to a few days after moving to a new location. Now, mind you, it's been over almost 6.5, 7 weeks. I was told he was supposed to have a tablet by the 3rd. And finally, I'm going to show you what happened the other day. Finally, I was able to put stamps into JPay, send an email. Now, I haven't heard anything back yet, but it is working now. JPay is working now. And I sent this email. Brian, me and thousands of people believe you are factually innocent after reading all the MPD, ISP released records. If you want to chat about anything, feel free to respond. Stay strong and keep the faith. Yada, 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 Phoenix. Okay? So he is able to receive emails, finally. So whatever the story was behind this article, it has now been resolved. And this article came out this morning. But that's not just the first article that I've seen talking about nonsense. Let me tell you, this woman, whoa, this is all my humble opinion. I got a banner at the bottom. It is not to slander or defame or anyone. This is educational, entertainment purposes only, in my own humble opinion. And this exclusive from Sun, you know, the magazine. This came out on the 27th of September. This is not a new article that was just released yesterday. And I don't know why they're doing this, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about because I like proof right here in your face. They re-released this article 1 day ago. Okay? 1 day ago, right here. It says 1 day ago. Idaho mom reveals heartbreaking decision needed to make after family devastated and ripped apart by the death of her beloved son. Now, this is what bothers me. This article on the 27th is the same exact article that they release. They just slap a new date on it. Let me share this with you. Let me share this one instead. I'm going to pop this one up here. Same exact interview, same exact exclusive, but then they put published October 6th. And then they release it today, 1 day ago. Well, yesterday. Okay. Now, this is the narrative that the mainstream rag magazines, Inquirer, they still are pushing. Just last week, it was, more pictures. No new pictures are going to be shared. Okay. I get it. This is the narrative they want you to continue to believe. Why? Because more truth is being exposed. They were hoping that once the case was closed, everyone was going to drop it and forget about Koberger. That is not the case. Yes, the Sun is a tabloid, but it's still being covered on mainstream media because they're all still sharing the same stuff. So obviously they've got people hooked on the mainstream media sharing that narrative, and these hidden things will never come out if they keep sharing this narrative. Why? Because by seeing this article all over the place, they just repurpose it. They're not interested in telling you the truth. They're still interested in sharing the narrative, because if they share the truth, then these people are going to look not credible. And they need these people to look credible, because how probable contamination or mislabeling any of this can shift the case. It can shift the case to reopen the case. It can shift to no justice for them as the family. See, because here's the holes in this case. This is just one of the silence of psychology holes in this case. It's an incomplete motive narrative. It's mainstream versus facts. She doesn't want you to know the truth. She doesn't care what the motive is. They got the guy. They put him in jail. She might know he's factually innocent. She may know that all these families know. I believe they all know. Somehow, some way, they've given every single one of us watching closely clues in their speech, in the way they interview. I mean, I can show you a real quick. Let's watch this just for a second. Let's watch this video just for a second so that you can see her body language. Just for a second. Here we go. Watch her body language.
That's what somebody like that thinks.
It's irrelevant, I guess, considering, if you've got the mindset to do it.
It doesn't change the outcome. My husband and I have talked about that from the very beginning, that, regardless of how this thing played out, nothing we do is going to bring Ethan back, right? It doesn't matter.
She's convinced that the truth doesn't matter. 100%. It is shocking to me how the truth cannot matter to a mother that has lost her child. Is this money over mothering, over loss? Is that what this is truly about? And here's my point. CrimeCon, this is a hidden secret. CrimeCon did an expose on her, invited her over to their yearly event. And listen to what they state about Miss Chapin. Mrs. Chapin, Stacy Chapin, is a dedicated mother, educator, business owner, and victim advocate. Okay, I had to stop there because I almost threw up in my mouth when I read this. A victim advocate whose life has been shaped by her deep commitment to her children, various education-based initiatives, and community-driven events. Vomit in my own mouth. I can't believe they would say that about a victim advocate because, honey, Brian Koberger is a victim and he needs an advocate. So why not Stacy step up to the plate and be an advocate for the innocent? Just like your child was innocent. I mean, am I disconnected from reality here? I mean, think about this. Think about what I am saying. Now, I'm not judging her. I'm just reading you what CrimeCon has put up on their website about the mother of Ethan Chapin. I wonder what Ethan would say if he was here. I wonder if Ethan would, hey, Mom, this guy's innocent. I mean, think about that. Then they go on to say in 2022, while Ethan attended the University of Idaho with his siblings, his life was tragically cut short in a case that captured national media attention. Well, I just talked about the media in this case. It's a bunch of BS. Stacy channeled her love and grief by creating Ethan Smile Foundation for nonprofit honoring Ethan's passion for life, people, and new adventures by providing scholarships that enable others to follow their dreams. Remember what I said, if Ethan was here, what would he say? The foundation inspires hope and supports initiatives that reflect the kind of joy, kindness, and light that Ethan brought into the world. Her husband, Jim, and all her children serve as board members. No, she even wrote a book. And as a former teacher and principal, Stacy works alongside Jim overseeing their mining and timber business based conveyor belt business. She earned a Bachelor of Arts from the University of Puget Sound and a Master of Education from Western Washington University and administrative credits from Gonzaga. And in April 2023, Jim and Stacy were awarded honorary degrees from the University of Idaho. Wow. Honorary degrees from the University of Idaho. Wow. I'm just shocked. Is that like, don't sue us and we'll give you some degrees, in my humble opinion? Things are hidden in plain sight, folks. Right there. In addition, Stacy was an award through Phi Beta Phi because she is actually an alumni, guys, for her outstanding community service achievement. Wow. I mean, it's right there in front of you. April 2023. It was after the murders, Big Red. Yeah. Can you believe that? It was right after the murders. They were awarded honorary degrees 4 months after the unaliving of Ethan. Yeah, 2023. Now, I will say this. There is a lot of untold hidden truths in this whole case. Let's think about what evidence went silent. The sheath went silent, the DNA controversy. I mean, if you start looking at the holes in this case, it just blows my mind. Now, remember the ballistic possibilities. Was there a gun used? There was an expert, a tools expert. He wasn't just a gun expert in firearms. He was a tool expert. Remember, there were 2 weapons potentially used in this case. So were there gun-related elements tested or ruled out that they've hidden? Missing or incomplete lab reports discovering in filings? I mean, honestly, guys, the news reported that there were 2 additional unknown DNA back in February of this year. Did you know that? This has been known for quite some time. And the 2 special investigators that were added into the case in 2023, their backgrounds We're in ICAC. That is the Internet Crimes Against Children in Idaho that they prosecute. There is so much more that's important. Why Bethany's laptop, the shoe prints, other forensics remain unclarified publicly because they're so hidden. If evidence is sealed in the name of justice, why can we still call it transparency if evidence is sealed in the name of justice? No. There's no transparency. There's no motive. Think about Koberger, his background. I've never seen somebody in a background PhD program ever be accused of committing a crime like this. Ever. An unshared motive. They couldn't get him a proffer because he probably doesn't know what happened. This is how courts can convict without proving why. Yeah, she removed her LinkedIn. Somebody removed it because I got a screenshot of it a long time ago. She went to the U of I. She is an alumni of Phi Beta Phi. So I'm sorry, Phi whatever, Pi Phi. I don't know why half of these things were deleted. I mean, while we're on the Koberger, let me show you an MPT document, the Moscow Police Department document, that kind of blew me away when a lot of people were saying that this survey and this Reddit thing and all these other things were so, like, guilty. Look at this document, folks. Let me see if I can make it a little larger. Okay, this document, 172, clearly shows this was the warrant that came back to Lawrence Mowry in regards to the Koberger Reddit warrant. Okay. Now, this just looks like a bunch of gibberish from someone that was sent and put into a document. But I'm going to show you some key things to pull out of this document to make you realize it's hidden in plain sight. So Mowry applied for the warrant to get the documents from the Reddit account for Brian Koberger with any of the following identifiers, probably emails and any key select words, okay? So the warrant comes back. It was granted 7 days to serve the legal process, yada, yada, yada. He received an email from Reddit, and it stated the data requested is here. And he copied and pasted what they sent to him into this report. And I'm going to show you. In reviewing the files, I located a file labeled comment votes CSV. This file contained the following permalinks. This one was research participation needed. That was the post. And then another post, research participation needed. And then another one and another one. And then it was some type of response. What was your struggles as a felon? So this is a question back and forth, right? Somebody's talking to this individual on the other side. And then it says, I make my husband want to kill himself. Okay. These were within these posts. It was the felon, ex-cons, prison, unexpected, prison talk. Kids are effing stupid. There's accidents. And then there's these. Okay. These were things that were put into this document. What were your struggles as a felon? Research participation needed. Search studies needed. Repost participation. And then it says, in reviewing these contents associated with DeSalis EDU mail, I found 2 accounts associated with the email. The first account was named blank, and it was registered on December 30th, 2022 at 21:58. That's 9 p.m. at night. Koberger was arrested on that date, so it was not him that made these Reddit research documents. It wasn't him. So who was it? Was it somebody trying to frame him? Probably, in my humble opinion. But then they go on to say the email showed that it was not verified yet during those dates. Koberger was in fact incarcerated, and this account showed that it came from Frontier Communications in Tampa, Florida, near Tampa, Florida. This was not Koberger. This was not Koberger. It was a fake account. Somebody was doing this. A fake account. Then the second account came up with the registration date that said yada, 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 that was located and showed near Albrights, Pennsylvania. And that was April 1st of 2022. So that could have been a possible, it showed a location near Kansas City, Missouri with a level 3 communication. That's an IP address. The email address showed it was verified. And it showed research participation needed, yada, 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 yada. That could have possibly been Koberger. And then there was an email attached to this warrant. It said, I attempted to post a survey to the prison subreddit. My post was automatically removed. I imagine that this was due to the lack of activity on my account. I have seen others post research recruitment posts on this subreddit within the past few months. Would it be possible to obtain approval to submit a recruitment post or to regarding prison on Reddit? The recruitment post has my information in it. The survey itself was an informed consent form that confirms my affiliation. I have been able to post my survey to other subreddits such as r Reddit, xcons, r Reddit, felons. You can look at the specifics of my recruitment post by looking at these posts. Thanks in advance. Then, from prison, whoever runs this Reddit. I just approved the most recent one you posted. I have the auto mod filter comments of the new accounts or super low karma. You should be fine now. Oh, thank you for posting. All right. So then obviously it gets posted. And it says, we want to remind you of your flare submission, yada, yada, yada. It's something from the administration. And I'm not basically saying he was a bot. Okay. So then it goes into say, hi, can you repost and approve my submission? And then to the other group, he says you've been temporarily banned. So the ban will last for a day. You can still subscribe or review, yada, yada, yada. These were just basic administrative things that he was trying to get the survey posted. Do we know that was him? No, because there is no chain of custody that would prove that this was him without knowing IP addresses. And it looks like this came from VPNs. That could have been anybody, right? But most likely, if you looked at it, it probably was. And then the legitimate research you'll see here was definitely not like the fake one that I just showed you, okay? Because he was truly looking for some research information. And that's basically everything that Murray put in this simple report to show that somebody was out there making Reddit surveys saying it was him when in fact he was incarcerated. So who was trying to frame Koberger and set up the details needed to make him look guilty? Who was it? Was it somebody that knew him? Somebody involved in this? Because the rest of this document looks pretty legit as to if I was doing a research participation. I wouldn't do it on Reddit, but I'm just saying. I mean, who would go to the extent possibly to frame him? Somebody in Florida? Who went to Florida? There's only one person I know in this case that said he was interested in going to Florida, and that was Adam Lauda, JD's roommate. You know, Jack DeCour's roommate, where they found possible blood residue and bullet residue. I mean, if you start putting the pieces together, I think we have enough by now to understand where they were interviewing and where they were questioning the most people. Is it possible somebody in that area answered the Reddit survey and that's what led Brian to that area? Is that even a possibility? Anything is, in my humble opinion, in this case. The more we look at it, the more things start lining and making sense. He wrote this survey in April, and all of a sudden, April, May, June, in June, he's out in that area. And then a couple months later, this happens. I mean, did someone actually look at the dates that all this was happening and maybe somebody framed him? Is that even possible? Somebody lured him to that area and then framed him? Who knows? Who knows? I think in due time we'll probably, hopefully, get somewhat of the truth, but these records are just records until we have more information to put it together, until they start unsealing some of these records. I mean, the protective orders and sealed exhibits keep key info from the public. And that's a great question, Caleb. I see it. Who asked for the gag order? Nobody specifically asked. The judge said we need to keep some of this out of it. I think it was the prosecution. And the defense was trying to keep the gag order away because remember my intro. Remember what Ann Taylor said. Well, the public deserves to know the truth. Stop covering it up. Stop making people not talk. Stop sharing the truth. They did not want that to get out. I mean, if you think about even the University of Idaho had a protection order. They allowed Ann Taylor to look at some of their documents from the university, but she was never able to use them, talk about them, share them, some potential sensitive police and student records. She was gagged from talking about the university. Absolutely. Think about that. The impact of gag orders on media truth. The media didn't know what was going on in the case. That's why they made up all these stories. Half of them, well, 75% of them now that we know, aren't even true. I mean, let me ask you this question in the chat. Drop a 1 if you believe the public should have the right to see all the evidence once a plea deal happens, because we're still not seeing it. Should the public have the right to see all this evidence? Drop a 1 if you agree. Drop a 1. Then you are like me. We are like-minded. We are in the right place at the right time. Because I believe we should all be able to see everything. We are the taxpayers. The people of Idaho should be demanding these records be unsealed. Absolutely. I got a notice the other day when I asked for some records. Let me grab it real quick and I'll show you. You want to see the cheesy answer I got back? Holy freaking moly. It just blew my mind. It blew my mind. I was like, what do you mean they're not going to give me any of these documents that I requested? What do you mean? Yep. City of Moscow Police Department. Let me download this and send it to myself so you can see it. I thought to myself, you know what? If I'm willing to pay for those records, I should be able to get them. But nope. They don't want your money anymore because remember, a lot of people were like, they want money. Hold on a minute. Let me grab the document, the PDF they sent. A lot of people were like, what do you mean? $20,000 for this, for these records. Nope. This one, they basically said, we can't give them out anymore. They weren't even the ones that I was asking. No photos or nothing like that. Wasn't even asking for that. All I was asking was for some simple documents that should have been like, bam, they'll be prepared in 2 days. Because I wanted to see a record of a report that involved Jack Katovich. There was a record on file that was related to this case, and they were like, nope, we're not going to give it to you. I don't know how many other people asked for it. Let me download this real quick. So in this document, here, I'm just going to black this out. Hold on. So I don't have to give out this information. And let me use black thick. Let me see if it'll do this. Okay, I'm going to share this tab with you. All right. I look like a kindergartner just drew this. Okay. Here is what the city of Moscow told me. Yeah, dang it. All right. Here's what they told me. They basically said, up yours. Okay. I'm paraphrasing. Your request attached for police reports and attached documents related to the state of Idaho v. Koberger, Latah County case, yada, yada, yada. Ada County case, yada, yada, yada. MPD case was received on September 27th. It falls under Idaho PA Records Act. To the extent of your request is seeking all records that were created or produced by law enforcement right here. And then this was their BS excuse. And then right here, it basically said that the public agency may require the request for public records. Okay, yeah, I get it. And then total, obviously they redact this, yada, 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 to protect the individual. Okay, so let's go to next page, right? So let's go to 2 and let's see what they said. So basically, the statutory exemptions asserted herein shall not constitute a waiver of any of all legal bases or privileges, which may also be applicable to the documents which are the subject of your request. So basically, they gave me an approval and then a denial of certain records, and then it says I can appeal, right? With 180 calendar days, I can ask for a petition. But I was like, why deny the records? They gave me this link. Obviously, this is the standard public link to get to the documents that they released to the public. I wanted these police reports, especially the one that dealt with the Jack Katovich situation. But they weren't letting me have anything. They were like, no way. So obviously, that's still hidden. They don't want anyone to see those public records, even though they have a duty to give public records when requested or asked. So they're just burying more of the documents. I've never had a problem getting documents from Idaho, even though I live in another state. Never. Never. Never have I ever. I usually get them within 2 to 3 business days. If there's a fee associated, you pay the fee, then you get the documents. Because obviously, the time to get the documents is manned by an individual, a woman, a man, whoever, that is tasked as the clerk to get those documents to the public upon request. And it'll look just like this. I'll show you something. I'll show you something interesting. So you see this document right here? This document right here, if you go all the way up, you will see in these documents, not only here where it says people are involved, victims mentioned, but if you go down and scroll down into the middle of this document, I think it's like page 20 something, I can't remember. These are all the people who have ever asked for documents in this case. So your name is on there if you've asked for public records, okay? Right here, all the way down. All these people have asked for public records. So that, yeah, how about if we take a field trip to Idaho? So all these people that you see, all these names right here, have indeed asked for public records. You can go down the list. You can probably look at some people and say, oh, I know who that is, right? You can actually go down this list and you can see people on here. I mean, there's people on here that I know their real names. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but there's reporter Kevin Fixler, right? There's JS Media. There's a couple of other people on here. These are people who have ever asked for court documents. Andrea Griffin, we all know who that is, Some people do, some people don't. I mean, you can go down here, Brian Enton's on here, all these other people. These are public records that they have to release to the public, that they have released to the public, that have asked for public records in this case, because it's part of the record. Okay? So anytime you ask for records, when you go and request it, it's public knowledge. We pay for it. We get the records, and then that's it. Yeah, we can ask ChatGPT if it's public record and it provides it for you. But if it's not been released and you're asking for it for the first time, you get the record, then you share it, and then it goes into the record on ChatGPT. Okay, that's how it works. So, I mean, you have to ask yourself, when you're looking at what's still hidden, the two perps that did this, the unidentified unknown DNA, secret evidence. We don't know what was on Bethany's laptop. What was Bethany doing? Does she have any other proof that cleared her so fast and she didn't want to be involved? Right? I mean, you have to ask yourself, what's the legal ramification of all the hidden evidence with somebody who is factually innocent? Are they not giving us that evidence to protect his appeal process? Or are they just being greedy and stingy and don't want the public to know what really happened in the Idaho4 case? I mean, the only thing that I can think of is that, I mean, this might just be so far-fetched out there. Are these four in some type of protective custody? I mean, you have to think about that, right? Because this is something that we thought about for a long time. Was there two perps that were injured? Was there somebody that was injured and survived and got away? Was there one that almost survived and got away or died? I mean, those are things that you have to ask yourself. These hidden little truths that we see coming out of this case every single day, right? There's always something new that pops up. The minute that it dies in the mainstream, then they're going to know, okay, our narrative worked. Our narrative worked. People aren't talking about it anymore. It's fizzled out. People aren't really interested in the case. And that is what they hope happens, is that once that people hear the case is closed, he was sentenced, all done, done, dunny, done. That's what they're hoping that people forget. And that they just move on with their lives, and an innocent man sits in prison until you see him on the news like other people that they were wronged a long time ago. And now that 20 years of their lives have passed with autism, they don't think they owe him anything. And it is wild. It is wild, folks. Yeah, if you want to take a field trip to Moscow, please be careful. Please be careful. And remember, like I said before earlier in the stream, we rise through truth, not rumors. We burn for clarity, not chaos. And in the ashes of silence, we listen for what's still hidden. This case is not solved. It is an unsolved, cold case that must be reopened, and justice should be served. This could happen to any one of us. Any one of us. So who's with me? Who's ready to go the extra distance? Have you written Brian Kohberger? Have you sent him an email? Have you attempted to try to write the DOJ? Who is going to help Kohberger be exonerated? If this was you, I would fight just as hard for you. Think about that. Be well, folks. Be well.
Listen up, the ashes stir, phoenix wings unfurl, seeking truth beneath the blur. Turnings for the lax to meet the blur. Out the flames I rise, wings scorched but unbroken. Truth the blaze I wield, every rhyme's a token. In the nest we move, hearts thumping unison. Searching for the light where the system cuts our wisdom. Built on lies and steel, they boxed us in cages. Now we break the locks, rewrite history's pages. Innocent until proven guilty, that's the oath we recite. Under this constitution we ignite the night. We rise like a phoenix and sink, we claim the street. Nest seekers united, our freedom can't be beat. Stand up when one falls, yeah we got your back in a free land unbroken, we launch the righteous attack. Justice for the voiceless, break the chains of deceit. Innocent till proven guilty, our victory is complete. System cracked at the seams, built for just a few. We rip apart the scheme, bring the truth into view. Movement swells like thunder, souls fueled by conviction. Phoenix souls aligned, demanding our new vision. Marching on the courthouse, banners paint the sky. Echoes of freedom roar, watch the old guard comply. No more hidden verdicts, no more secrets sold. Every voice is a weapon, every story be told. Innocent till proven guilty, that's our final decree. Under this constitution we stand forever free. Phoenix in the dawn, truth ignites the sky. Together we stand tall, no more asking why.